Welcome, everyone, to another episode. I'm Michaela Stetler, president of the Seth Center, here with...
I'm glad you know who you are. That's excellent.
It's good.
I am David Selak, CEO of the Seth Center.
Yeah, and today's episode, we're talking about a really important Seth concept. What he says over and over again, your point of power is in the present moment, which then brings in the entire topic of time, linear time, does it exist, what Seth calls the spacious present. So
it's almost like maybe a way to encapsulate that is the true nature of time and what can we do with it?
That's right. The nature of time or the illusion of time. So in a nutshell, what Seth has said is that our perception of time is just a biased, prejudiced use of our perceptual faculties. Some of it is part of the physical reality system we're in, but for all intents and purposes, there is no linear time where it's one moment after another on a single timeline.
Can I massage that a little bit?
Massage away.
So maybe another way, you can look at it that way.
Okay, say it another way.
Yeah, so another way is to say that it is not mutually exclusive. So if we put the clock there on the wall and you watch the second hand, you could watch it moving around the clock, right?
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you. But at the same time, he's saying, have you ever had the experience of time moving so fast or of experiencing time moving so slow?
You mean like where it's 2:45
inexorably.
trying to get out of school
Exactly.
and the teacher's
waiting there, and it's just like you're waiting and you're sweating and it just yeah. So, and we've all had just luxurious feelings of something being timeless, or of it moving too quickly, or it's like, oh, there's not enough, or I don't have enough time.
Right.
So there's
it's subjective.
It's subjective, and it also is. Time can be many different things, right? It can be experienced, right, in many, many different ways.
Well, and there was something interesting someone was showing me the other day of like how scientists, like in the field more of physics, are saying what Seth has said is like linear time does not exist in the way we imagine it. So even the whole thing about, the speed of light or how far things are, it's sort of, they're coming to understand that it doesn't really exist in that way. So
right.
In a sense, we could say that having, as human beings, an experience of linear time is so that one reason for that is so that we're not getting overwhelmed by so much data, so much life information that we wouldn't be able to process it. And also because of how the learning system is of physical reality, we need to have this kind of lag of, here's what I'm thinking, believing, imagining, expecting. I take an action. Here's the outcome. Yeah. If we don't have that, we don't see the relationship between what we're producing internally and what's getting created by that. So the external projection.
That's right. And it's also for those of us and in the audience that have had lucid dreams, you start to see in a lucid dream, and even in dreams too, that what you think and feel inside the dream becomes an immediate reality. So when I think of danger, I see a black puma by the side of the trail, and I immediately jump in the lake because I saw something, I was fearful, and I dealt with it. So in the dream, you realize, because you're quite conscious of what you're doing in this dream, you're conscious of your thoughts, and you're conscious of the action that is appearing. So that's what's happening in this dream. You start to connect that you are creating your own reality in this lucid dream instantaneously. Mm-hmm. And then if that is so, because you bring that lucid dream back, you remember it, you start to realize, if that's so, that must mean that I'm creating reality back in the normal waking experience. It's you can and you will tie the two together, even though the lucid dreams are, I mean, they can be whatever they are, incredibly joyful, they can be scary, they can be all kinds of stuff. But nonetheless, when you start to be aware of
The relationship.
the relationship to your thoughts and feelings, you can't escape it.
Right.
So it's like,
Right.
that's kind of one of the main points, besides enjoying the lucid dream, that is there for us. Because, reality is trying to help us understand how it all works. So, so we've got, I'm going to ask you a question,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
And even if I do.
And even if you do mind, I'm going to ask you a question, then you can go. You can ask it. So, you've got the past, you've got the present, you've got the future, and it all seems like it's running down a linear time framework. We've got a concept that you spoke about early on called the present is the point of power. What are we talking about? What does he mean by that? Can
Yeah.
you attempt to explain
Gosh, there's
it?
like, when you were saying past, present, and future, I was thinking of all these other things that Seth has taught us about the nature of time and where our focal point is. Basically, if you understand it like this, here might be a way, and we can explain it in different ways, right? Because
Okay.
it's complex, or it can be difficult to understand just because of our perceptual biases and how our language is formed in this world, etc. But the center point, the experience of now, what is happening now, the intersection of time, space, here, now. He says this is the point of power. This is the moment point. The moment point is where you have the power to choose, to make a new decision, to choose a new direction, to choose a different thought pattern, to
Right.
whatever it is that you're choosing. He also says that the moment point of here now, how another way that it is your point of power is that this is the intersection of all the energy, resources, creativity, love, wisdom of your inner self, your larger beingness, with your focal personality, your human identity in this existence. So right here, right now, is that intersection point. That is where everything comes out of the here and now. And he goes further to say that rather than this kind of linear time, there's only the spacious present where all times are existing. So you can think of it another way. I've explained it. Now, this may or may not help you. It helps with a little visual, is that if you're thinking of linear time, let's say past is to the left and future is to your right. If you read from left to right, it's as though you have actually cut a sphere into the sagittal plane and you're only looking at one axis. But in actuality, if it's a sphere, that point of the future is existing at the same time that the point of the past is, because it's part of the whole ball, right? All the points are
Right.
are there
Are
at
there.
the same time. And he says it's actually, in a way, you could think of time more as a location, as a where rather than a when. Now,
Like time's like a place.
exactly. And here's, let's get right away to, okay, well, what would be a practical benefit of opening your understanding of time into a more of a multidimensional understanding of time? Here is one of the biggest practical benefits in my mind, is that then you don't have to be a victim of the past. You don't have to be trapped to the past. You don't have to be stuck in anything that
Right.
happened in the past. Like whatever happened in the past,
Yep.
he's saying you can actually, from the center of now, which is like the ever emerging center of this sphere of time,
Oh.
you can change anything. And I remember,
Oh,
more, go.
You reminded me of
thought
something.
bubble.
There's the exercise.
Popped out of your head.
So there's actually a few exercises in the materials, and I thought I'd relate the one that you just touched on.
Right.
And for those, everyone who's listening, not if you're driving farm machinery or driving down a highway. This is a simple exercise. It's looking, you're here in the present, you're seated, say, or you're standing. You just look around you and just see what's happening in your little space, wherever you might be. And you realize you're in the present moment. And from this point forward, there are many choices that are available to you of actions you might take, actions you might not take. But in all cases, your power lies right now. And that's just one exercise. So allow yourself to feel that and notice what emerges for you.
You know, that was actually reminding me of another thing, gosh, there's so much we could talk about this, is that any kind of exercise or process that you do where you're shifting states or opening inner senses, Seth always recommends to begin it and end it by coming very sharply into the present moment, to think of your senses, because how are you experiencing time is through your senses primarily, right? Is as though you're fine tuning, turning the dials to get the radio station of here now totally dialed in, because we can only really act in the moment while we're in a physical body, right? It's only in the right here, right now. Like, for example, you're breathing, you can only breathe in this exact moment point, right?
Really?
Yeah, you can
that's
only
true.
you can only breathe out in this exact moment point. And if you think about that, this is something spiritual traditions and energy awareness practices across the planet, like from indigenous to Buddhist to like any organized thing, you're always working with the breath. Because it's always available for us. So it's something I think is kind of like a ecumenical across all traditions, a way of coming into the present moment. You can always use your breath and just really get right in that moment point where you have the power to change. Now, what I was going to say when we were talking about, okay, not being a victim or trapped by anything that happened in the past, right? Where you don't have to be stuck in that.
Yeah.
And Seth was saying, no, you can, from now, you can not only change your future, but you can actually change things that happened in the past. And I've had direct experiences of that with family members. But where I was going to go is that I remember reading a lot about the memory, like scientists who are studying memory and the nature of memory. And what they're saying is like, memory is not like, oh, you know, you store it in your SSD drive, your external drive, and it's the exact same document. No, every time you have to rewrite it every time, like your brain rewrites the memory. So if you're rewriting the memory anyway,
it's
why not make a better?
It's a 33rd copy down the line.
Yeah.
So your memory actually does change, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So already it's pliable. Already it's subjective.
Yeah.
Already it is being changed. So why not do it intentionally?
Well, I've had, this is interesting. This is really cool. So I've had, obviously, a very common topic right now is post-traumatic stress syndrome and the ways to look at that. So what Seth's saying here, which is I find fascinating, is, and it has been used in certain cases, is if you've had a traumatic experience in the past, what he's suggesting is basically you have a thought or a memory transplant. So you change the memory of what was into something else, plant that there, but you'll have to refer to that many, many times in order for that transplant to take place. I realize how this sounds. I know it's controversial. I know, at least at the taping of this particular episode, we're aiming towards what kind of chemicals are we talking about now in terms of treating PTSD?
Oh, like using psilocybin, for
Yeah,
example.
microdosing of various
Yeah.
things.
Um,
So
Other kinds of like, things that will change your state or
yeah,
hallucinogenics to some degree. Yeah.
so changing. Here's a cool thing, and I'd like your comment.
Okay.
I realize this is a little bit of a hijack job. Um, you can actually, and I want you to explain this. Thank you. Is you can change the past from the present.
Yeah. That's what I was just saying. All right. So you want to hear? Okay. So
Yeah, give me
a
another
couple of
example. Give
different
me a
ways.
practical
So
example of
I think everybody could more easily understand that you could change.
not a fake change.
No. You
Like-
could change the meaning of a past event for yourself. You could change the meaning, the certain significance of it. You could change your understanding of it. So you talked about in one episode about meeting your father in the after death state and how you came to a new understanding. Now, that did not excuse any abusive behavior he might have engaged in, but you had a new understanding of it. And that new understanding, you realized it wasn't because of anything about you. It wasn't because you, as little boy Dave, was like bad or caused it or anything like that, right? So it changed your whole understanding of that body of experience. Well, I'm going to go into one where, as my mother was dying, it was like right during COVID. She was like coming to the end. I was doing a lot of work with things that were really difficult experiences in my biological family. And I was applying this and I was these Seth principles to it. And I was really coming into a very, like, really seeing the dynamics that were going on and kind of what I would say pulling my identity out of it. I was no longer agreeing, accepting, acquiescing to the family belief systems, let's say. And the way that I knew that I had been so successful at this were two things. Is one, after my mother died, my two brothers, who were the only surviving members now of my family of origin, of the nuclear family, behaved and related to me in ways never had happened before in our entire history. Wow. I was like, oh, I think I changed the timeline. I made, because of the inner work that I did, because of the way that I came to understand and view these experiences, it neutralized it. I say I pulled my identity out of it, but it was more than that. I actually changed the past because I no longer have charge about all of these things. Some things it's like
would it
I
be
kind
the
of remember
probable
them.
past that you changed?
Well,
or
a
probable
probable
future?
well, okay. Well, now
present?
we're back into probable realities because there's no way to talk about the nature of time without talking about probable realities. So you're having all these different branching points, right? So if you're changing your past, you're changing a probable reality. So from your center, right? So if everything is spoken out from right here, right now, where it's all emerging in the now, if you from here, the memory that you have of, oh, this is what happened when I was 5 years old, and you have a whole new understanding or a new perspective or a new sense of yourself. Now from here, instead of this being your main past spoke, now you've got one over here that had a whole different energy to it or significance or was much milder, was less severe or whatever it was.
Yeah, I follow you.
And in fact, not only did this happen where they behaved entirely different to me, but there was a shared family event. And I knew I had changed that event because that was one of the events I was working with. And they had a new memory of it because I asked them, I said, hey, do you guys remember blah, 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 blah? And this is an event we'd had, there had been, I don't know, something at my mother's like 90th birthday. There was a discussion of it. So I knew that they had that memory. That was their main one. But now they said the different one that was more in line with the one that I had created.
It's kind of
It was wild. That's when I was
yeah.
like, it was so trippy. It was like as trippy as that episode where I was saying I actually experienced from me projecting the physical environment of my room. Well, having this experience now, it was with two other people where I was like, first of all, they're relating to me in a way unheard of in my family. Never had they
Yeah.
related to me. And not only that, but this event, they have the new memory of it too.
Yeah, of course. Because you've switched
Woo, woo,
probabilities.
woo.
Actually, all this
Talk about woo
as you
woo.
I know. Well, it is. It's remarkable. But it's learning about the reality that we have and that we can actually, it's the manipulation of, it's towards a new understanding and workability of time. But as you described that, it reminded me of another time-based exercise. And we did the one where you just focus on that this point of power is in the present. My point of power is in the present. I create my own reality. So one of the adjunct exercises is, I'll invite everyone who would like to do this to right now, suggest to yourself, my point of power is in the present. And what I want you to focus on, and we'll just try it for 23 seconds.
23.
23.
Prime number.
Is it? Okay. I trust you on that. So for this 23 seconds, focus on something that you want to have, do, or be, that you want to create. 23 seconds is it.
Right now, we're just doing it? Okay.
Just focus on it for 23 seconds.
Do we need to close our eyes? For some reason, I feel like we
You
should.
can do what you want.
Okay.
Just focus on it.
For deeper perspectives on reality, manifestation, consciousness, and personal and collective evolution, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Seth Center. We share quotes, clips, insights, and fresh angles on all the big questions, all rooted in the Seth material and designed to support your growth from the inside out.
Bingo, bango, boingo. You're back. Everyone's 23 is different, right? Unless you're really watching a particular clock. So that exercise, it's not usually for 23 seconds. I collapse time. It usually is for 3 to 5 minutes. So if you want to practice point of power, you bring yourself back to the present, look around, and then focus on something you want to have, do, be for 3 to 5 minutes. And just in the present moment, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. 5 minutes, that's it. And then forget it. Forget about it. So it's a point of power exercise. I know you know. I know you know.
Yeah. It's even though
Yeah.
even though I have been involved with studying the Seth material these many years, right? It's been the through line in my spiritual life. It's like, food and water. You need to drink truth every day. You need to get reminded because we live in a world where it's so contrary. There's so much distortion. There's so much misunderstanding. It's like just doing something like that. Like, thank you for sharing that. I'm like, oh,
you're welcome.
because
it's actually Brolin's fault. It really is. Brolin's one of our crew members. We've got a great team here. He reminded me, he said, all these spiritual things. And it's like, I thought about it. And he brought it up because I thought, I was never really into that. But I really was curious about, well, how does reality get created? That was what I was curious about. And really one of the byproducts, which you brought up, was, spirituality actually does have something to do with how we create reality.
right.
So
Yeah, like why bother with all this? Is it just like an intellectual exercise, like mental masturbation? Or are we interested in practical application of creating like a really rich, pleasurable, love-filled,
Yeah.
significant, value-fulfilled life?
Well, for me, I got to a place where in my present moment, I just thought, when I came across this stuff, I thought, whoa, this is pretty out there, pretty out there. And then I thought, channeling, yeah, it just sounded too, out there for me. And then I thought, you know what? I don't have to believe it, but I can experiment with it and
Right.
test it out and see,
Right.
how does it go?
Right.
And so that way I kind of left the whole belief thing off to the side. And, fortunately, I guess pretty excitingly, it's actually pretty cool. Like it actually works. And that kind of led me on. And so the practical stuff and about how reality gets created and how is time involved in that was what did it for me. How about you?
Yeah, well, so many things, but I actually want to just really go more onto the practical aspect.
Okay.
Like, what does it give us to have an expanded understanding of time? What does it give us to not be, right? So you don't get stuck in the past, or you don't feel like a prisoner of the past, or that your past is your destiny, or anything like that, right? So it gives you freedom to create, to be a sovereign being, creating what you want. But
Absolute freedom and permission.
Yeah, freedom and
Like, what are you waiting for?
Exactly. And then another aspect of it is it gives you, see how I would express this. In my experience, the larger my framework, my frame of reference for understanding reality is, the more multidimensional it is, it's actually the easier it is to deal with physical reality and the various like ups and downs. Like, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, we're learners, we're still learning. It's not like we've achieved some final state of perfection, as though there even could exist one, which would basically be frozen death if there was one final state of perfection. No more becoming, right? So it's not that we're perfect, but it gives me a way of, like, if I really think this is all there is, like, how depressing would that be? If I think that there are no other possibilities, it just gives me a lot more, I would say, resiliency and spaciousness, which actually leads into what he talks about, the spacious present. And then there's another concept that goes to that, which is spacious mind. And Seth has said there is no biological reason why you must perceive linear time in the way that you're doing, why you can't have a more expanded, inclusive awareness. He said it's nothing biological in us. It's just a kind of perceptual habit pattern. And, so why would you want more? Well, why would you want less? It would be my question, is like, if you are more, and if more helps you understand and more effectively create a fulfilling reality, why wouldn't you go for more? But I don't know. How do you look at that?
Whoa. Do we have time?
Over to you, Dave. Let me hit the ball right back over to you.
Do we have time and matter?
Do we have
does
time
it matter?
for that? You make the time.
Yeah. Actually, here's a. Let me. I'll share something with you. I think I may have told you. I'm not sure. And our audience is. We can change our experience of time instantly, and we can change it gradually. Like, instantly might shake you a little bit, but here's one, and it's like, I'll give it to you. Many people in this world, not all, run around. They don't have enough time. There's not enough time in a day. I got so much stuff to do. Can't fit it all in. Pop, 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 pop. Especially in cities. People out in the country, a little different. But you can change it, and there's a suggestion I want to share. It's like, I have plenty of time to do everything I want to do.
What a constructive suggestion.
I know. I feel like, and I did. I thought it. I'll say it again. I
have plenty of time
to do
everything
everything that I want to do.
that I want to do.
So, you can just say that to yourself. It's an affirmation. It's a belief. It's a new belief. Maybe different than your old belief. If you've got an old belief like, which I did, I don't have enough time, just sweep that off to the side. Dismiss it. It's like debris in a driveway. Just get rid of it. Just say, I'm going to suspend this belief for now, and I'm going to insert the new one, which is, I got plenty of time to do everything that I want to do.
I love that.
It's good.
So here's a second highly practical thing is being able to use self-suggestion to create a less pressured, stressful experience of time and to feel that you have more space to be and do what you want. So that's highly practical.
Absolutely.
Application of these concepts. So being free of past experiences that were difficult, painful, traumatic. You don't have to be, or bad limiting, tragic circumstances. You don't have to be trapped in that. It doesn't have to define you.
You can start to manage your
right?
Manage not just the time, which you're talking about like it's a discrete thing.
No, you manage your
but
experience.
Remember, we create things from the inside out. So we're talking about time from the inside out.
Ooh.
Got it? Like you start to go.
Time from the inside out.
Yeah, I got time from the inside out. It's like, like you got half an hour to get somewhere. And, like you're stressing all the way there. Like, oh, I got to hurry. All this kind of stuff. No. Instead of doing that, which is perhaps a usual behavior, you might go, I've got plenty of time to get where I need to go, or I'm going to enjoy the time that it takes for me to get to my next appointment. So I'm just suggesting that you start to manage your experience of time during your time.
I love that. And I'm thinking of examples where I've done really well with that. An example recently where you were right in the car with me and I did not do very well with that. So now I'm like, oh, another good reminder of, right. Or like I've had things happen, where, okay, I'm going to be late and I'm meeting somebody and I'm stressing. And then they text me and they go, I'm going to be late.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I'm like,
hey, why did I hurry? Like, really?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're late. No worries. And let them feel bad. No.
Hey, I've got one I'd like to share with you. And I know you've heard this from me. It's like but I love it so much only because it shocked the shit out of me when I first heard it. And it was, you are as dead now as you ever will be.
And then to me, that's funny. But to a lot of other people, they'd be like, what? What does that mean?
The big goose comes through. It's, so.
So explain that to the people
home. You are as dead now as you ever will be.
Meaning?
Reverts back or refers back to all time is simultaneous, meaning your death has already happened in many different probabilities, right? Okay, if we take this
or
to be true.
Or at least a few, at least a handful.
So in simultaneous time, no. At least one of my deaths has happened, but also my birth is happening too. One of my probable births, right? So as you follow the logic of simultaneous time, and plus Seth says, hey, can't destroy your consciousness. Why would we want to anyway? It's valuable.
Right.
It's part
so
of
when
all that is.
Yeah, your consciousness continues because you're no longer inhabiting a body.
So to say that, it's like a shock effect. It's like throwing you over a cliff. Oh, sorry about that. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't really die anyway. So I did, but I didn't.
Right.
Right. So the body will die. The consciousness will continue to exist.
Right. You just left that particular stage set.
Yeah. I just think that's funny because, sick humor, but.
Yeah. Well, so we wanted to talk about the point of power is in the present, the moment point, spacious present, non-linear time, and that linear time is a sort of perceptual habit. It's not absolute, and we don't have to live by it.
I got one for you.
Okay.
So I know rationally people are, if you've never come across this, you're going, oh, really? But there's a way to help you not just understand it, but prove it to yourself. And we've talked about this a little bit. And so you want to contact a simultaneous self, a reincarnational self, if you will. The way to do it, the way to see it is obviously you could do a regressive trance experience. The other way is, you're starting to work with your dreams. That's amazing. That's so cool. You suggest to yourself to see a simultaneous self. So most simultaneous selves that people see are in the past. And Seth suggests, he goes, look, with your belief system the way it is, you have a hard time understanding that you actually even have a future self. So it's not, it's not unlikely that you wouldn't see a future self, but you can. So many people will see that self in the past. But they also see that self actually doing something. So it's existing now.
Right.
And if they're like you with probable selves, there's multiple probable selves of that, we'll call it previous incarnation. You get it? So you prove it to yourself by seeing a simultaneous self, but one that's existent in that place called 1843, making it up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, there's, again, when we're looking at, why do we want to talk about this in a podcast? What is the purpose of it? Well, one is to have, in a more kind of conversational mode, just discussing some of the concepts in the Seth material and how you and I particularly have our own understanding or experience of it. And the other thing, because this is a big part of our commitment at the Seth Center, especially in this probable version of it that we're growing and developing, is really focused on helping people in the practical application. So Okay, give me another one.
It's like a big fish that comes up.
Yay, come on up.
So, okay.
Let's reel you in. Where's that net?
Oh, I caught a seal. So, this is great. We're playing with time. We're taking it on speculation that some of this, hopefully, is not crazy. It's actually pretty cool and it actually can help us a lot. So you have future probable selves, right? Like, the old wise woman, Michaela, who's, 10 years older, who has learned a lot, knows a lot, knows that it's all going to work out fine. We communicate back and forth with these future and past portions of ourselves.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I had a really interesting experience, something like that. And I'm remembering again, my 20s were a very intense time of rapid spiritual growth. And I remember this particular man was coming to me in the dream state and telling me, I'm going to come to you in the future and I'm going to help you heal all this stuff that's happening now.
Right.
And I did meet that man. I told you about him. His name is Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
I actually took him through his death process, but he was coming to me from the future.
From our
future, saying, hang in there.
So did he appear in the dream state?
Yeah, he said, hang in there. I'm going to help you heal all of this. It's all going to be okay.
How cool is that?
And totally.
I know, we know how this sounds. Trust me. we aren't like,
you know what the reality is, Dave? I don't really care how this sounds.
I know. No, I don't
Hop
care either.
on board or not. Try it out or not.
Exactly. Try it out.
It certainly
as
can't
you watch your
hurt
dreams,
you.
You're getting all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like your solutions are being given to you about the future, from the future
to now, to help you
now in the dream state every night.
What I find really interesting when you think about this is there so many different like movies and books with time travel or
Yeah.
coming back in time
Isn't
or
that
moving in
interesting?
time. And to me, the reason for that is because this is intuitional knowledge from our inner senses that we all have access to. And so, artists, writers, filmmakers, they're being really they're having that inspiration to explore this and bring it to conscious awareness, like through a creative medium. But why would it be such a common theme or thread through so many different
Yeah.
cultures and traditions if there wasn't some
Validity to it.
basis
Well,
in
actually,
reality?
and to borrow a phrase, the time is now, really, for all that to emerge, because it's helpful, it's beneficial for all of us to understand this and to not be at effect of, kind of the official line of consciousness that most of us have been conditioned with and affected by.
Speaking of that, the time is now, with when we look at what's present on the world in terms of our telecommunications technology, right? Where across the world you could do instant video with people. So 50, 100 years ago, let's say 100 years ago, people were not instantly aware of what was going on at any point in the planet immediately, right? So the amount of, let's say, data or information or awareness was a lot less, and it happened a lot more slowly.
Right, yeah.
But if you have a child now
Yep.
who's grown up in this, like their capacity to hold what's happening in all these different points on the planet instantly, immediately, or to be able to directly, physically, not just telepathically or in the dream state, but physically connect with somebody, like gamers who are in multiplayer games at all over the planet, simultaneously working together. So what Seth had been saying is that we're approaching a big shift in human consciousness. So if space is collapsing or expanding, whatever, like the immediacy of physical location, because now you're knowing what's happening. The same for time, right? Because in this reality system, space and time are axes that are tied together here, now.
Yeah.
So if here is collapsing or expanding, however you want to think of it, then now can similarly
Yeah.
be.
Well, and we are on the exterior physical level, we are getting more data, more news, more information, and we're able to handle that. Do you remember there used to be an old book called Future Shock, and the concern was, you're going to get so much data, it's going to kill you. Essentially, that was
You'll
the
all
idea.
go crazy.
You'll go in
short
shock.
circuit.
But the reality, and Seth talks about something interesting which adds to that. And the interesting part is, actually, you're surrounded by information all the time. More data, more telepathy than you know.
Right.
Where is it? It's invisible, right? Of course.
Just like
It's 'cause
radio
it's-
waves.
Exactly. Lots
But
of
they
invisible
still
stuff.
exist.
But the capacity, and we screen it out actually
Right.
using our senses, our exterior ears and interior ears, our inner senses. So we screen out, but have access to all of it. But we screen out and include for ourselves the stuff that we want. So we actually have an innate, inbuilt ability to do that. And then we allow what we need to know or want to know, right? I will allow into my consciousness everything that I need and want to know.
Another
Right.
fabulous
Yes.
suggestion
So-
from David Selak.
Anyway,
Wait, repeat that one again, or do another variation of it. This is a great suggestion.
I'll phrase it differently. Anything that I need to know, I will allow to rise into my consciousness.
All right. So we've been talking for a long time, and I think we should wrap up the episode. But what I want to say is that if we expand our understanding of time, we expand what is possible for us, our conception of our unlimited nature.
Yeah.
We can use it to change the past, to not be trapped in the past. We can use it to have less stress and pressure in our present, and we can use it to our advantage to create more of what we want. Would you agree?
It's time that I agree.
It's time that you agree. All right. Well,
Thanks,
thank you,
Michaela.
everybody.
That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Dave. Thanks all for joining us. Stay tuned for another episode.